Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are gonna do a casual comparison between the Seiko 5 SRPE53 with this Tudor Black Bay 36 here. So yeah, I know it might be a little crazy to do such kind of comparison because this Tudor Black Bay 36 comes in at around 2000 to 2500 US dollars in the retail price, and this Seiko 5 could be in the range of 200 US dollars. Yep, so one could argue that the Black Bay 36 costs 10 times the price of this Seiko 5. But again, I have to stress that this is just going to be a casual comparison. There is no right or wrong answer, and I wouldn't answer the question of is this Tudor Black Bay 36 worth 10 times this Seiko 5, because money is always something that is subjective, and you have different point of views in terms of how you value items. So I'm not gonna really go into that, but what I will go into, it's because, well, maybe I take a step back why I wanted to do this video, because there are several comments on the internet that this Seiko 5 looks quite similar to the Tudor Black Bay 36, 41, or even 32 lineup. Well, in terms of size, this Seiko 5 comes in at 40 millimeters, but this is obviously my Tudor Black Bay 36. But for a closer comparison, by right, I should be comparing this Seiko 5 to a Tudor Black Bay 41. But, well, I do not have a Tudor Black Bay 41. This 36 will have to make do. Okay, so we start with what I would say not so obvious kind of similarity here, or something that is deep down. These two watches, they are powered by automatic mechanical watch movement. Well, automatic means that it doesn't need batteries to run. It's governed by there is a mechanical mainspring that produces the power, and the power is slowly transferred through the gears, and the timekeeping, it's governed by this balance wheel here. It's not focusing. It's governed by this balance wheel here. And automatic, which means that this watch can wind itself on its own, because there is this counterweight rotor that is, you can see this semicircle thing that is moving around. So when you are wearing the watch, you are moving about, you will automatically winds up the watch, keeping the watch always in power. So yeah, automatic mechanical movement. Well, this is not a full-fledged tutorial. I do not intend to do like a tutorial video and to explain all the terms and all that. Well, maybe I might, but not in this video. Okay. The next similarity, I would say, it's also from the movement, because two of the movements in these two watches, they are what we call hand windable and hackable. Hand windable meaning that you can manually wind the watch to top up the power, because on older Seiko 5 that were powered by the 7S26, they are not hand windable. You cannot wind the movement to top up the watch here. And okay, so why the date is mismatched? Because it's going through a date change cycle. So I'm just gonna move the hands away here. Well, I do apologize if you can hear some background noise, because there's something going on outside my house. So if you can hear that, I do apologize for that. So back to what we were saying. Yep, hand windable. Then the next thing would be what we call hackable. Hackable, it means that when we pull out the crown all the way to adjust the time, the second hand will stop. So normally I will wait until the watch is almost the second hand reaches the 12 o'clock position, then I will pull the crown out. Because by doing so, I'm able to sync this watch to a more accurate reference clock. So for example, if I'm using my computer clock, I look at the clock, and then when the seconds on that computer clock reaches 00, I push back the crown. So in this way, I sort of like sync my watch to the a more accurate reference clock. So that is what we call hackable. Okay. Another similarity that we can obviously talk about is the companies, because both Seikos and Tudor, they come from a company that has a long history, and I would say they are quite prestige, and they have a lot of respects from watch enthusiasts all over the world. I think Seiko is a company that has a history of over 100 years, And Tudor itself, although it's relatively new, but it's founded by the same founder that founded the Rolex watch company that is so famous nowadays. Apparently, Tudor started off as a company that allows Rolex to sell more affordable watches. So older Tudor might have a similar case, similar dial and all that, but with a different movement. So it's supposed to be like a cheaper alternative to Rolex. But nowadays, I don't think that is the case anymore, because Tudor itself has grown to be a very respectable company, and with their with their new release of the Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue, and before that the Tudor Black Bay 58, they have been growing massively in terms of popularity, and demand for the two Black Bay 58 watches are, like, I would say, almost crazy here. So these are some histories about the companies. All right. And another similarities that I can point out between these two is that both of these watches, they are iterations of their bigger brothers, which are dive watches. Like, for example, this Tudor Black Bay 36 is an iteration of the Tudor Black Bay dive watch, including the regular Black Bay, the bigger Black Bay, the Black Bay 58. So they are true dive watches. And the same for this Seiko 5 SRPE53, because before Seiko launches this kind of DressKX, there was a replacement of the Seiko SKX 007, 009 range with what we call the Seiko 5KX. But itself, they are also iteration on the true dive watch, which is the SKX 007, 009 that comes with the dive time bezel. So, yep, these two, they are iterations of a dive watch. Okay. Then what about some visual similarity cues here? Well, I would say the main reasons that get everybody commenting or talking about how similar these two watches are, I would say, is in terms of the hour markers, right? So if you look at it, there is a 12-hour, there is a triangular hour marker at the 12 o'clock position on these two watches. And the rest of the hour markers are circular, like, for 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, they are circular. Okay, so I guess this look make a lot of people say that, okay, it's about the same. These two looks the same. Okay, but if we look at the hour markers on 3, 6, and 9, there are obviously some differences here. Well, on the Seiko, there is a day-date window because it's powered by the 7S26, and part of the Seiko 5, the 5 kind of idea was that there has to be a day and date complication. Okay, so yeah, this one, there is no date. And if you look at the shape of the markers on the 369 here, it's rectangular, whereas on the Seiko 5, it's oblong. Okay, so they are the same, but they are not the same. Okay, and we go to something which I would say we talk about their differences now. So what is the difference between these two? So we start off with something that is not that obvious. First, it would be the crystal, because on the Seiko 5, it's mineral crystal, but it's a mineral crystal by Seiko, which they call Hardlex, which is supposed to be slightly tougher than a regular mineral crystal, whereas on the Black Bay 36 here, it's a sapphire crystal. Okay, so this is something, if you don't really use like a crystal tester to test, you cannot really, or not so easy to distinguish between like a mineral and sapphire, unless you use a hardness tool to test them, right? Okay, then what about the dial? If you look at the dial on the Seiko 5, I'm not sure if it's showing up, it's a matte sunburst dial, whereas the dial on the Black Bay 36 is a deep black high gloss dial. And well, the logos on these two watches, they are obviously different. Here we have a Seiko logo and a Seiko 5 shield, and here we have the Tudor logo and the Tudor shield. But yeah, you can argue that, yep, they have shields as their logo, so I'm not going to say no to that. Yes, The newer Seiko 5 logo, even though it's not sitting on a shield anymore, it's still in the shape of a shield. So yeah, I will give you that. And another very obvious difference would be the hand, because on the Tudor we have this iconic, what we call the snowflake our hand, whereas on the Seiko it's more like a string hand, a big arrow hand, and a second hand with a round lollipop. And here we have sort of like a snowflake shape on the second hand as well. They call it snowflake, but to me it looks like a square, but yep, I'm just gonna go with it. And next would be the crown position, because the crown on the Seiko 5 it's on at the 4 o'clock position, and the crown on the Tudor is at 3. And the Tudor comes with a screw down crown, and the Seiko is only a push pull crown. Okay, and when you come to the bracelet, I'm gonna give them a pass, because these two, they come with a brush link bracelet here, even though on the Seiko 5 it is a hollow link. So the link inside the link is just air, it's just hollow because it's made of folded metal. So you can see like the two ends joining in between. But whereas on the Tudor Black Bay 36, it is a solid link clasp, so it's made of solid metal. And both of them, they have like a similar safety lock fold over buckle here. If you look at the Tudor, you lock it in place, and then there is a safety fold over lock. So they are again similar but not the same. But the Tudor one, it's obviously it has a higher build quality because it is made of a milled out metal. And if you can see, there is a ceramic ball bearing for this catch, and also for this focus one of the ends here that it comes. Oh, okay, sorry. There is ceramic bearings here and here. So when you press it in, you have this ceramic bearing to, in a way, take care of the friction and wear and tear, because ceramic is much more harder than metal, so it can withstand a lot more open and closed cycle. But for this Seiko 5, it's just purely metal on metal, but it comes with a push button deploy and clasp. But for the Tudor, there is no push button. We just basically have to just pry open the clasp. So I guess that's it for the similarities and differences that I can point out. Well, there might be more, so if you feel that I missed out on some comparison, you're welcome to put them down in the comment section below. So with that said, I guess that's it for this video. It's getting longer than I expected it to be. So yeah, if you're new to my channel, please help by subscribing to my channel. It does help me a lot. And you can also follow me on my Instagram at gfw_watch for more watch pictures. Till then, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye bye.